Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show on this fabulous Tuesday. Let's hit my cap up here, get my face showing. Nick Geddes is back in the house, broken foot and all. Did you get the x-rays back?
I have not gotten the x-rays back yet.
Okay.
I have not gotten the x-rays back, but I'm still in pain. That's all you need to know is I'm still in pain, and I had another ride to work this morning.
Oh, good for you. The painkillers will make you much better on the show, I think. Hey, welcome into to today's show. We got a lot of Baker Mayfield sound to get to you. I was at the press conference yesterday. Very impressed with Baker Mayfield. Definitely not the cocky kid that came out number one overall in 2018. So we'll get to that. We'll be talking some WBC. That World Baseball Classic game last night was just one of the funnest games of baseball that I've ever watched without really having a rooting interest in who won the game. Just enjoying the baseball, and the atmosphere was just absolutely electric. Randy Arozarena, of course, the Rays star, has now become a worldwide sensation, if I can say that. Maybe now the Rays will pay him because they can get more television deals in Mexico and Latin America, so it'll be much more. But his price just went up. Yesterday's price was not today's price, said Scott Boras after last night's performance. That was just so fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. I don't have a rooting interest in the game at all, but as a fan of baseball, and I saw a lot of people saying that my fandom of baseball has been restored from watching the WBC, the meaningless tournament, right?
Yeah, right.
The emotion, but Randy Arozarena is a superstar.
He is a global
He is a superstar. MLB
Yes.
Network before, they were talking about him. He came on and crashed the scene. He was hilarious with Pedro and Harold Reynolds on the set. And during the game, the sombrero and the cowboy boots in the outfield and doing BP, the stare down as he robbed the home run, his shirt's out and everything. He looks so non-conventional.
Yeah,
and
he literally was signing a baseball during play, like when waiting for a new batter. Somebody threw him a baseball and a marker through the wall because it's just a screen out there, and he's signing a baseball and then flips it back over and goes and gets in his position.
He's just some dude named Randy. Some dude named
Randy. Wow.
He's at the point now, by the way, he's reached first name status. When you say Randy, it's Randy freaking Arozarena. You don't have to talk about it. Randy is Randy Arozarena. Not Randy Johnson. Randy is Randy Arozarena.
It's a one name.
He's a one
Latin
namer.
America
He's
soccer
a one
type
namer.
thing. He's Randy.
He might as well be LeBron. He's Randy.
Wow. Okay. All right. But everybody last night was like, oh, pay him. I'm like, that's not happening. Stu's your owner and Scott Boras is his agent, so that's never going to happen. He will not be a long-term player here in Tampa Bay, sorry to say. How many more years do we have him under control? 2 more this year and next year, I think?
2 more, I believe.
Yeah.
I'd sign him right now, today.
What's that?
I'd sign him right now, today.
You know what the price is?
The best big game player in baseball right now.
You know what Scott Boras' price is today? Probably $25 million a year. 25,
really?
$30 million.
$25 million?
Yeah, Scott Boras. He's going to free agency, baby. It's not the numbers; it's the cachet that he brings. Seriously, he will be a must-watch in Mexican TV.
I was going to say,
that's a big market.
I suddenly want to go to Rays games to see Randy Arozarena, and we've been doing it for years.
Hey,
but now I really want to go see.
You think the Rays will market him?
Oh, please! You have to strike while the iron's hot right now, and not just the Rays, but Major League Baseball as well.
Where is it? There's not even a story in the Times today, the paper that they own.
Is that true?
Not about Randy Arozarena. Not that I saw on the sports page. No, which is bizarre. There's a story about Linares and Zach Eflin, but in a couple of minor leaguers, but nothing about Randy Arozarena, who had what was probably the most visible game in terms of people, eyeballs watching the game. The ratings for that game last night must be through the freaking roof. I mean, with all due respect to the women's national basketball tournament, everybody was watching this, and I'm sorry, it was must see TV. And Randy Arozarena's team didn't even win. Didn't even win. What do you think the hut levels were in Japan last night? It's 80%.
Gotta be near 80%.
They were saying that everybody on the trains had the game on their phone. Like everybody was watching the game on their phone. You imagine that those trains are just packed. I've been on those bullet trains in Japan, and everybody's got their phone out and they're watching the game. I mean, it is a sensation. And wait till we're going to play the Japanese call of the big game. If you weren't watching the game, and I'm sorry we're starting with this because I'm just so excited about it. We'll get to Baker Mayfield in just a second here. It was so electric that you kept saying, well, this is great, but they're not going to, like, Mexico's not going to come. It was what? Mexico went up 3-0.
Mexico went 3-0, the Urias home run.
Yeah. And Sasaki, the great pitcher, Roki Sasaki, was the 21-year-old, was hitting 102 like every pitch.
Yeah, I don't care that he gave the 3-run home run. I saw what I needed to see.
Yeah.
He threw 21 fastballs, and 20 of them were over 100 miles an hour.
Oh, just insane. And they go, and then in the seventh inning, what is it? Yoshida. Sorry, I get him.
He's with the Red Sox now.
Yeah. Hits a 3-run homer on a slider down and in.
And it was so dramatic because we were like, is it fair? Is it foul? Is it fair? Is it foul? It was just great, the drama.
And then Arozarena comes back in the next inning after they tie it up. He doubles to start the inning with a laser beam to right field, and then he's sitting on second base like this, just incredible. Verdugo drives him in. Mexico takes the lead. And then in the bottom of the ninth, with Japan down one, Otani doubles, and he told the whole dugout, he said, I'm just gonna go out there and get on base, like it's nothing.
He can control it.
Yeah. So he doubles, and then he gets knocked in, and they score the tying and a winning run. Murakami, who's been huge in the whole WBC. And it's just the celebration is just crazy for the normally reserved Japanese, who don't show any emotion. They went bonkers, and the fans did too. It was just incredible, like nothing I've ever seen.
I thought it was history. Yeah. I thought I saw history last night, and I'm going to say it right now. The World Baseball Classic has eclipsed the MLB playoffs.
Yeah, no question.
It has eclipsed the World Series, in my opinion. Can I go that far? Can I go that far to say that?
I was seriously considering driving down to Miami tonight to try to get a ticket for this game.
I would actually love to be in Miami tonight. If
anybody's got a ticket out there and you just want to drive to Miami, I'll go. I'll jump in the car with you. Let's go. I would love to be at that game. I don't care where.
Think about what you're saying, by the way.
And I don't care where I sit.
And you're talking about
I don't care where I sit.
And you're talking about a baseball game.
A baseball game. I will drive.
And 2 weeks ago, we were sitting here nitpicking the game and the problems with it, and all these things. And 2 weeks later, look at that. We're talking about driving 4 or 5 hours to go see a baseball game.
And to Miami, of all places, where I will not go. I would love to hit me up. Let's go. Let's get in the car. We're just gonna go. We don't have tickets. We're just gonna go. We're gonna scalp. We're just gonna go.
I just want to be there, like in the
dressed
vicinity.
Up, head to
I don't
toe,
think anywhere.
Red, white, and blue. Stupid hats. Uncle Sam. The whole nine. I would do all that tonight. Absolutely. Show up here tomorrow, like with no sleep, same clothes on, reeking of beer. Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. All right, let's get to the Bucs and Baker Mayfield. We're gonna play that audio, by the way, later on. The Japanese call of the two big hits. It is. I don't know why Japanese radio calls just seem so funny to me, but they're
electric.
They're so funny. I have no idea what they're saying. Although they do go like, Homa. So they use certain English words to describe things, and they just out of nowhere they'll just pop in, and you'll hear the names too. If it's American players, it's funny, and I love it, and we celebrate it. We're not trying to do anything. Don't do a Japanese accent. Stop it. We're just having fun with it. My God. Richie P says Paredes was on base for the 3-run homer. He's been Mexico's second best hitter.
Yeah, he's hitting 375, and he's a footnote.
The Mexican Rays.
The Mexican Rays.
I mean, seriously, you've got to capitalize on that. You got to be putting out travel packages in Mexico right now.
Yeah, we got to have some kind of big thing when they come back.
No
to the
visa
team.
needed. Just walk over.
Yeah.
Get on. We'll even bus you to Tampa. We'll give you a free bus ride to Tampa. And an Apple phone. Stop it. All right. Oh God! All right, let's get to Baker. Let's get to Baker Mayfield. So I was at the press conference yesterday. Asked a couple questions. I was so impressed with the way he comported himself yesterday. Very, very, very impressed. This was, you expected the cocky kid from, from 2018 to come in here and just say, I'm going to be the starter. This is the way it's going to go. Blah 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 blah. And there was none of that. Absolutely none of that. He was very contrite. He wouldn't agree that he has been humbled, but all of his actions would suggest that he has a much different perspective on life. I even asked him, a question, what is the biggest misconception about you? And he wouldn't take the bait. We'll play that in just a little bit. And I was impressed with that. And I was impressed with the fact that he didn't try to sell himself as some Buccaneer savior. He didn't come in here like, I plan to be here for 25 years and, I'm going to, put my name in the Ring of Honor and, all this, I love being here. He was like, I've never really been to Tampa. Don't know much about Tampa. You got a winning hockey team. That's cool. But was very honest, but wasn't trying to be fake. He was very authentic. That's the word I'm looking for. He was very authentic, which was, I did not expect that at all. I didn't expect for him to be comfortable in his own skin. He's gone through this process, which he said he did not envision, going through this process, 3 teams in 1 year and then going out on the market and, signing somewhere on the cheap to rebuild. He said, I'm just taking it basically day by day. I'm going to do the best I can here. And we'll, if I do well, we'll see what happens. He wants to, increase his resume. He's very honest about it. I'm here to make you guys better and to make me better. And if I play well, the team wins, everybody wins. What a great attitude. What a great attitude. How can you fault that?
Yeah, I mean, you completely shut me up because I'm the one who came here on the show yesterday and was like, how is he? I was starting that whole narrative. I was part of it of how's he going to react if he's not the starter? Is he going to be that guy that's going to be like, let's go, Kyle, and let's do that? And to his credit, he brought the receipts yesterday and he said, what about last year? Last year I wasn't the guy for most of the season.
Right.
And I had to play, and what did he kept harping back to yesterday? He kept going back to leadership.
Right.
That was my big takeaway from yesterday as a whole, is every answer he would talk about what he was going to bring to the team, he kept going back to his leadership. And I'll never take that away from him. We watched it at Oklahoma on full display.
Right.
Was there any question of who ran the show there from on the field?
Nope.
It was Baker Mayfield.
Nope.
And maybe he didn't get the chance to do that or it didn't come over across the right way in Cleveland, at least to me. But it seems like that little 5-game stint in Los Angeles, he seemed to have almost found himself again. He said he started having fun again. Seemed like he had the respect of his teammates there, and now he's hoping to bring that here. So, I thought he answered everything the right way yesterday.
I think the whole idea that if he doesn't win the starting job, he's going to be like this petulant pouter is blown away. I did not sense that one bit. He may be faking it really, really well, but I did not sense that one bit. He's a smart kid. He understands, and I think he's very self-aware. And there's no question, and I didn't ask him about this, but I guarantee you he's done some work in terms of mental therapy and how to handle himself in public, which is great. Everybody should do that. Everybody should seek out a therapist to talk about the things that are happening in their lives. And there's no stigma to this anymore in terms of mental health. If you go to a physical doctor, you should go to a mental doctor as well to help you out in every way, because everybody's dealing with these issues. And your health, your mental health affects your physical health in a very, very real way. And Dr. Lugo will be joining us later on in the show. We'll talk to Chris about that as well. But it's absolutely 100% important. And this kid, I call him a kid. This guy he's self-aware now. He's much more self-aware. He understands his position, but he's not going to relinquish the things that made him great. Okay? And there's a fine line between being cocky and confident, right? There's a fine line between being cocky and confident. I sensed a quietly confident young man. And here's the other thing that you have to really realize here when you talk about the Trask and the Mayfield competition. Folks, this Dave Canales offense, which I've not seen it, obviously. It's never been seen because he's never been a coordinator. Now, you could say he's bringing it from Seattle, in which Smith did, and I think there's going to be a lot of similarities. But as Dave Canales said in his his press conference, it remains to be seen what it looks like. But that it'll be a heavy influence there. And what you saw with him doing with the Rams was all of that stuff, the moving of the pocket, the waggles, the bootlegs, the RPOs, the stretch, all those things where a mobile quarterback and somebody who can throw on the run, off platform, and make plays is going to thrive in. Does that sound like Kyle Trask to you?
It's never sounded like Kyle Trask to
No,
me.
not
Ever.
that he can't move, and he can. And he can, but not to the level of Baker Mayfield. Kyle Trask is a drop back passer drafted in by Bruce Arians into his type of scheme. That is not what Baker Mayfield does. So again, we can sit here and be told this will be a competition, but this is setting up for Baker Mayfield to win the job. This is his kind of offense. It will accentuate his talents and not necessarily Kyle Trask's talents. Am I wrong there? I mean, again, we haven't seen it, but I'm not discounting Trask as he's not going to win the job. But I think if we're looking at it, clearly they're tailoring the offense. What we saw last year with Baker Mayfield in L.A. is closer to what I think we'll see here.
Well, that's why I've never really bought into the whole the Kyle Trask hype train, or
Right.
people that are saying, like, I'm understanding that they're talking him up because they have to. He was the only quarterback on the roster as of, a week and a half ago, right?
Right.
But he, like you said, he was drafted to do Bruce Arians' system, to learn Bruce Arians' system. How much of that did he really even grasp in 2 years here? We can debate that. That's still being debated, obviously.
Doesn't matter.
Now everybody's on an even footing, and everything that Canales has described, it never sounded like Kyle Trask to me. And this is why I've always been saying that if Kyle Trask is starting week 1, something with the Bucs' plans has seriously gone awry.
Yes.
Either that, or there's the small possibility that Kyle Trask just ends up being really good when we see him in game. And then that could happen.
Sure, it could happen.
I'm going to say that it's a small chance of that happening because, again, what am I going off of there? And I just don't see
a senior season at Florida.
a senior season at Florida
record-setting.
in 2020.
Yeah.
Like, I just
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, that's the last time Baker Mayfield looked the part, so I guess that you can play both sides there a little bit, but I've never believed that Kyle Trask would be quarterback 1 when we got to week 1. I've never believed that for 1 second, and like you said, even though I think the contract may kind of tell you that this is going to be a competition, they would probably prefer for Baker to be the guy, I think.
I think so, and I just you think of this from a Todd Bowles perspective because Todd Bowles was calling the shots in terms of the offensive coordinator, right? As a defensive coach, what does he hate the most?
Turnovers.
Well, turnover, yeah. Running quarterbacks, running mobile quarterbacks. They are much harder to defend than a Tom, 15 pounds lighter Tom Brady, totally distracted. And those drop back passers are so few and far between. Yeah, Brady at his height, it's impossible to defend. I get that. But now with this league, what Todd Bowles has to deal with every week are the Lamar Jacksons of the world, the Jalen Hurts of the world, Justin Fields, and even, Patrick Mahomes. These guys can run when they have to run. They are mobile. They throw off platform. They make plays off script. Those are the hardest things to defend. So naturally, what would Todd Bowles want in his quarterback? Something similar because he knows how hard it is to defend.
He's not going to be anywhere near those guys when it comes to athleticism.
Well, Baker's athletic now.
He's not going to be like those guys.
He ain't Lamar Jackson.
He's not Lamar. I don't
But
even
he
think
can. Patrick Mahomes, I wouldn't say is incredibly athletic, but he's a really good runner. He's a really. But when he has to run, look what he did this year in the playoffs. I'd say three of his biggest plays in the playoffs and game-changing plays were him running.
Yeah, I was going to say Baker to me like running, and I'd have to go back and watch a lot of his tape to really verify this. But just like off the cuff right now. Like maybe as much as like Burrow runs a little bit, I could see it kind of in that kind of range.
And they're big. It has to happen 2 or 3 times a game, but they're big.
Yeah,
and late in games,
extending plays,
absolutely. So, all right, let's get into some of the press conference from yesterday, and we'll start with one of my questions. I think the question that everybody else wants to know is like, how have you changed? What is the biggest misconception about you? And I think even though he didn't really answer the question, I think he answered the question. So we'll start with that one. That's number 1 on your slug sheet. Number 1 in your heart.
I enjoy playing this game, and my personality might rub people the wrong way, but I am who I am, and that's how I was raised to be. I'm not trying to play to be your friend or to impress you. I'm doing it because I love it, and I'm doing it because I love my teammates. And I think all my teammates would say the same. Behind closed doors, they knew who I really am, and that's what really matters, between my family and trust in that. So it is what it is. I'm not too worried about the outside persona.
I like that. I mean, I like that. I don't want to hear from people that are, I want to impress this, I want to do that, I'm going to be on social media here, I care about what everybody thinks. No, I really don't. I really don't. I just know that I want to get better and be the best that I can be. Let's do number 5 on his approach to the off season and how much he's going to be here and working.
What will be your approach here in the offseason in terms of OTAs, getting with your new teammates, trying to learn the system as fast as you can? How would you describe that approach?
Dive head first. I mean, it's the only way I know how to do it. So I'll be here and enjoying the process of getting to know everybody. To me, that's what makes football the best team sport on earth. It's so much more than the X's and O's on the field. You have to trust your guys. You have to know them in and out, and know what their family situations are like, get to know why they're wired a certain way. And that's what's so special about the quarterback position is you got to know how to push people. You got to know how to relate to them. If somebody needs a little kick in the butt, then do that or put your arm around them. Everybody's different, and that's what I love about it. So my approach is to just dive head first and go all in and just enjoy the process.
And I asked him if anybody had reached out to him or he reached out to anybody, and he's like, I wanted to sign my contract first, and now I'll get to work getting to know all the guys. I just like his approach. I just get a sense of it's mature. I'm not here, I'm not some rah-rah guy coming into the locker room and, handing out gifts to everybody, like me. He's like, no, I'm going to come here, get to work, and my play will speak for what I can do.
Yeah, and I think his journey, and he talked a lot about that as well that we'll get to, but I think his journey and where it's been, and even he kind of admitted, like, this isn't how my career was supposed to go.
Right.
I wasn't supposed to be on team number 4 in the year 2023 in my 5th season in the league. That was never how it was supposed to go, and that humbles you. It naturally humbles you, especially when you come from what he came with, and that was the pedigree that he had at Oklahoma, the Heisman Trophy, playing in college football playoffs and all that kind of stuff, and then you have all the expectations, and let's be honest, outside of 1 year, and you can maybe throw his rookie in year there as well, it just hasn't really panned out. So that humbles you, I think.
Yeah,
and that's what I think that's the new attitude that he comes in here and he's like, listen, I don't have the pedigree to just come in here and hey everybody, we're doing this my way right now.
Right.
Like, he's got to have to earn that now.
I love it. Let's do number 2, Baker competing with Trask. What does that look like? Have you talked to him? Have you met him? How's that competition going to go?
I have not spoken to Kyle yet. Just watched him over the years through the college stuff, and then I've always been a big fan. I thought he was really talented coming out, and I'm excited for it. To me, competition brings the best out in everybody. I've always believed that, and that's just true for all sports. It teaches you how to compete, teaches you how to win and lose the right way, and there's learning processes along the way. So I think Kyle and I are going to push each other no matter what happens, and I think we're going to make the most of it.
I like it. I don't think they're going to be best buddies, but I think there's mutual respect there. And, for anybody who thinks he's going to undermine Kyle Trask, I just didn't get that feeling at all. And Baker is smart enough to know that if he were to do that, coaches would recognize it, teammates would recognize it, and then you become who people thought you were. And I think that's his biggest fear.
Yeah, and I will say too, and we all fall into the misconceptions and the preconceived notions. I fall into that all the time, the narratives. Has there really been any examples in the NFL actually of Baker Mayfield acting out and stuff? I mean, he's had a few, I guess, I don't know what to call it, with the media a little bit, but
yeah.
Maybe prickly, I guess, maybe is a good word for it.
I think there was some immaturity early on with the media.
But I think the media, though, especially in Cleveland, was trying to poke at him to get those responses.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And I think he took the bait, right? Yeah. Let's be real there. But other than that, has there been any reports about Baker being a problem in the locker room and all this kind of stuff?
Didn't hear any of that in Carolina.
You didn't hear about any of that in Carolina. You didn't hear about it. Did I hear it in Cleveland? I don't think so. I mean, I think Stroud even reached out to Todd Monken
Yeah.
who was there. The most successful season he had was under Todd Monken. I think Todd spoke glowingly of him, didn't say anything bad about
I think
it.
Todd left the year before. Year before. I'm not.
Maybe.
But
I know he
whatever.
played with Monken, though.
Right, yeah,
and
absolutely.
He had no stability in Cleveland
Right.
either. I mean, it's a train wreck of a franchise. Like, so you kind of think about it. It's like, have we almost kind of cast him in a bad light because of preconceived notions?
I think absolutely. And I think, again, those notions may have been correct at that point, but people grow, especially when you grow through this kind of journey. If you don't grow, and I've seen that happen to people. I think to some degree that happened to Jameis.
Yeah,
Jameis never matured to the point where it looks like Baker Mayfield has. And I could be wrong. Baker may be out there throwing picks all over the place. Who knows? But it seems to me that's one of the biggest differences. Both first number one overall picks, right? Both with a lot of pressure. Both going to losing organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And Jameis came in here like, I'm the savior. I'm not necessarily look at me because he was a big team guy, but I think he felt the weight of the world on his shoulders that he had to be the show. Remember Hard Knocks? He just, he tried to constantly be performing for the camera.
Yeah, and it was inauthentic.
Guy. Yeah, it was inauthentic. It was. I hate to say that about Jameis. I think he's authentically, exuberant.
Maybe he didn't realize it, but it came off. It came off.
I think that's authentic in his heart. But listen, you can't be a leader when you're throwing picks. And he even said that. So you got to be a good player to be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
When Baker took that team to the playoffs, everybody was like, he's a good leader. Like, this is good. He's a baller. He's competitive. He's a team player. He's not, he's not asking to throw the ball 40 times a game. He hands it off. He cheers his team. He blocks. He does whatever he does all those good things. And then when you're losing, of course, he's a petulant, brat.
And sometimes there's a fine line between that
Yeah.
kind of stuff because it's all about competitiveness, and you're a petulant little brat basically.
And perception.
And if
too.
you're a really good player, and when you lose, and then you act out like that, you're just super competitive. Right. You just want to really win.
Yeah.
But when you're throwing picks and it's not great, you're just a petulant little brat. You're a problem. It's a very fine line that we draw right there with quarterbacks.
Absolutely, and he seems to
Yeah,
have overcome that.
I'll put it this way too: it's not like the Johnny Manziel, because he was always unfairly probably put in that Johnny Manziel category.
Exactly.
This guy's going to come into the NFL and he's going to ruin your culture, and he'll be out of the league in 2 years.
Yeah.
That was always put on Baker Mayfield. It's not like he's that.
No, he's not Johnny Manziel. Has never been that type of fraud.
It's a good word for it.
Here's Baker talking about finding stability within this organization and coming to the Bucs, who he sees as a winner.
I think anytime you look at some of the quarterbacks that have had a lot of success, you look at the stability they've had. So, unfortunately, that I haven't had that, but that's not all on everybody else. I haven't played the best I'm capable of. I've had flashes of that. I know that. So I'm just eager to have this next opportunity to see what it can become.
Love it. He was also asked about following in the footsteps of Tom Brady, which is interesting.
And I'm never going to be Tom Brady. There's a reason he has won so many Super Bowls. He's the greatest of all time. There's no doubt about that. I'm not going to try and beat Tom. I'm going to be me. That's what's gotten me to this point. We're going to do it differently, but that's what makes this league so special. Everybody puts their own touch on it. But yeah, it's an honor to follow up with somebody like that, and I'm definitely, the people that have played with him around here, I'm going to pick their brain as to the things he did. There's no doubt about that. So I'm excited. Like I said, it's an organization that's seen success, and following a guy like that, it's special.
I always think that talking point in general, and there's some situations where it's different, but following the greatness and all that, I feel like that's such a played out argument now. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like everybody goes to that, like, how are you going to follow Tom Brady and all this kind of stuff? Like, do players really, you think, is that really in their mind? Because I know Baker said it there, but it's like, I kind of believe him. Like, is that really a thing that's in players' minds?
I think had Brady won a Super Bowl last year and everything gone great, or even made it to the playoffs, and we'd had 3 years of just unencumbered joy, I think that would be more of a, I think he would feel more like I have to fill his shoes. Like, if I don't get this team to the playoffs, I'm going to look like a failure, right? And I think, but since last year was not that, and it was rocky, And I think he understands that. And the more he's around here and the more he watches film of last year's offense, he's going to be like, wow, I didn't know Tom was so bad last year. I think it's going to put his mind at ease. He may have already done all that. He may have already done all that and understand that he's got a good shot to make this offense way better than it was last year. He's got to have that sense. If he doesn't, he'll get it watching the film.
Yeah, I think there's one thing following Tom Brady and specifically following him in New England.
Right.
Is different.
Right.
This was 3 years.
Following Tom Brady.
And this
9.0
yeah,
at the end of his career is probably not as bad.
And no, it was great. I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just saying 3 years is a lot different than 20.
Yeah.
And this franchise that is, other than Tom Brady, has never had the guy at quarterback. I think it's a completely different thing.
All right, let's play one more, and then we'll hold some for the 11 o'clock hour. This was Baker on his journey the last couple of seasons and how that's affected his current perspective on football.
It's been different, but the thing I've realized the most in the last year is how can I help with what I'm best at, and that's being a good leader, being infectious, energetic, and even when I'm not playing, helping guys out. You know, I've played a lot of ball, and so I've seen a decent amount, so I can help people out from being behind the scenes, like I did last year quite a bit, and just enjoying the process. This is a dream I'm living. Why not enjoy it? But right now, I want to compete and I want to win.
I mean, what more could you want from the guy?
It might have been his best answer right there.
Yeah, right there. I mean, for those who think that he's going to be, you know, a cancer in the locker room, I just don't. I think that's an unfair perception of who he is, and we'll see. And I said this yesterday. You know, if you want to find out about somebody relationship-wise, and this is like a relationship. He's your quarterback. He's the leader of your team. If you're a teammate of his, it's a relationship, right? Don't go ask his ex-wife. Don't the ex-husband. You're probably going to get a fractured view of who they really are, especially if they've grown from those relationships and those broken relationships, which it's clear to me that he has. So you accept that person as the new person, as the mature person, as the person that's learned from his journey and is going to take those lessons and turn them into a positive. And I don't know what more you could ask from the guy. I think, and you were on Twitter more than probably I was last night. The general sense I get from Bucs fans right now was at first it was like, come on, Baker Mayfield. Now it's like, come on, Baker Mayfield. Yeah, come on, let's go. I think this could work.
Yeah, I thought everybody was generally impressed with it.
Yeah. I think that's important. I think the fan base, I think they're going to wrap their arms around Baker Mayfield.
And also, too, like a lot of people run, like, polls and stuff, like, and I saw somebody, I forgot who it was yesterday, but somebody put a poll out.
Let's put a poll out. We should put a poll
We'll do one as well, but there was one that was put out yesterday about who should be the quarterback one.
Mm-hmm.
And this was after the press conference, and I'm curious to always see it after the answers. And even though there's obviously the Florida people that are going to vote Kyle Trask no matter what, and I was looking at that, I think it was like 80% to 19% in favor of Baker Mayfield.
Wow.
From Bucs fans.
Wow.
Which is surprising me how big of a gap it is there.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Look, you know, I said this a lot yesterday, and I'll repeat it again today. I think he's a really good fit for this offense. And I've also said this, and I might take some heat for this. I think the best situations in football when the quarterback and the culture of the team matches the city and the culture of the city. Like, I see Tampa Bay as still a very blue-collar, you know, emerging, sophisticated city, but still has a blue-collar roots. You know, we don't have a high median income here. We're not plastic Miami, LA wannabe, with people getting gunned down in the street on spring break every night. We're not that flashy, crappy Miami, right? We're still have a blue-collar roots. You know, we appreciate hard work and competitive guys. And I think this version of Baker Mayfield kind of fits that. Scrappy kid, highly competitive, you know, not the most athletically talented kid, not a silver spoon kid in any way, shape, or form, like Johnny Manziel was. I think his personality and his competitiveness matches the city's culture. That's just my opinion. And I think if he plays reasonably well, I think he's going to be very well received here in Tampa Bay. I really do, and I'm hoping for that. I think this could be,
if anything,
a very interesting and exciting season, an unexpectedly good season.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, if anything, like he gives you buzz still.
Yeah.
Like there's still a lot of buzz. Like I was watching NFL Live yesterday,
Yeah.
and the only quarterbacks they talked about yesterday were Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, and Baker Mayfield.
Keeps you relevant.
It keeps you relevant.
With Kyle Trask, you're irrelevant.
Yes, and I don't know how it I don't know if it necessarily moves tickets. I don't know if I'll go that far.
I think it gives us a few more primetime games. I don't think there's any question about that, because when those executives sit down, you know what the first thing they say is, how can we tease this game? How can we promote this game? You know, and if you don't have Baker Mayfield, what are you doing? You're like, no disrespect to any of these players, but, Chris Godwin, against, the New Orleans Saints. And then who are they going to say? Derek Carr. That's what they're going to say.
Yeah.
And if the Panthers draft C.J.
I'll
Stroud, they're going
just
to
put
say.
the difference here, and social media is a big thing. Baker
Yeah.
Mayfield, 1.5 million followers on Instagram.
Right.
Kyle Trask, 98,000.
There you go. So I'm
There's a
saying
big
that's
difference.
what network executives do when they look at the schedule and like, how are we going to promote this Thursday night game, this Sunday night game? Baker Mayfield in the new look Buccaneers offense. Dun, 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 against whoever.
On Sunday night?
Yeah.
No,
whatever it is.
Baker Mayfield is primed and ready for Amazon Prime on Thursday night.
He's Thursday night football.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
Buck, I already call it. I'm going to call it right now. Week 14, Bucks Falcons on Thursday night football.
Come on.
Book it right now.
Okay, well, we're definitely going to get one of those games. I still think we'll get a Sunday night game. You got to look at the schedule.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
No, Rodgers and the
With
Jets
Baker?
is going to take up like 5 of them. So sorry.
Well, with Baker, I think you got a shot. I think you got a shot.
You might snag a Monday.
Might snag
You're
a
not
Monday.
snagging a Sunday. You'll snag a Monday.
A Derek Carr versus Baker Mayfield, Saints, Bucks, Monday night.
Maybe. I'd put one of those games on
Yeah.
primetime every year because I think those two teams genuinely hate each other.
Yeah, it's always a good intense.
So I feel like it should at least get a Thursday or a Monday night every year.
Yeah, it'll have some intensity to it. Hey, let's hit some of the our friends on our comment section today. Bucks Basement say, I'm still of the outcome that Bucks lose more games than win. Bowles is fired. We get a high draft pick, tons of cap space, and replace him with a real offensive-minded head coach.
That could happen.
I don't think that's out of the question. We had a long discussion yesterday about Todd Bowles, so we're not going to redo that. But I would say right now, before this last week and a half, I was going to say the roster was my biggest concern. Now I would say Todd Bowles is my biggest concern. Todd Bowles, at this point, and we still have to have the draft, but I think at this point, this roster is competitive to win the NFC South. My biggest question mark right now is Todd Bowles as a head coach.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I think it's fair. And the quarterback thing, too, they're not locking themselves down to Baker Mayfield by any means.
No.
So if they're not thrilled, let's be honest. Baker Mayfield was the best they could do this year because of the constraints.
Yeah.
They can take another shot at this next year if they fall flat on their face. That's what they've set themselves up to do.
Absolutely. And I'm okay with that.
And I think every
I'm
Bucs
okay with
fan
that.
should be okay with that.
And by the way, anybody who's like, what? Why didn't we just go with Trask? And then if he sucks, then we get a higher draft pick and he'll be terrible. I'm like, how many times do we have to say this? Every team that's tried to tank, I can't name
The Texans.
one. Yeah.
The Texans tanked openly to get their pick of a quarterback.
Yeah. So did the Panthers. The Panthers tried, their administration tried to tank.
The ownership stepped in now and said, we're getting that number 1 pick, damn it.
Yeah.
Screw you, Steve.
Yeah. And that, you know what? That's the way to do it.
That's
You
the
want
way
the
you gotta
number
do
1
it.
pick? Go save up all your assets and trade. And go get it.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. If you want the number 1 pick that bad,
Yeah, there's
don't,
nothing-
because the only thing tanking insures you of is being miserable for your fans.
And if you're a Bucs fan,
and
why
your
do you want
players.
to watch that?
No, you don't want.
I remember
'cause we get the
2014.
number 1 pick. First of all, you're not assured the number 1 pick. Second of all, you don't know if that number 1 pick is going to be any good.
It's like even in 2014 when the Bucs were openly tanking, right? And I think wasn't there the story that someone sent the message to Lovie Smith at halftime of the final game, like, get the starters out of the game right now. We want Jameis.
Yeah.
Right? Now, every Bucs fan knew we were probably going to get Jameis, and that was cool and all, but did you really enjoy the 2-14 ass kickings every week?
If you
Do you want that again?
If you legitimately suck and your roster has gotten to that point, and you're at the end of the season, and you've got 2 wins, And if you win one more, you're not gonna assure yourself of it, and you want to take your starters out. I'm okay with that.
But I keep telling people all the time.
That's just smart football.
When there's people that love the Bucs and they keep going on and on about, let's suck and go get Caleb Williams or Drake May. This roster is not bad enough, in my opinion. Whoever's at quarterback. To be in that sweepstakes. That's just a bad way to run a football team.
Nobody had the Eagles in the Super Bowl this year. Very few people had the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Probably not many,
Right, very few. And nobody was in on Jalen Hurts. There were nobody except maybe me. And here they come. And what happened to them? They stayed healthy. Jalen Hurts got markedly better. Things, their schedule kind of worked out where they played teams without quarterbacks, and it got so anything can happen
the
in
Giants,
this league. Yeah,
the Seahawks,
right? Anything can happen in this league. You get in the tournament, and who knows? But if you're going to purposefully say we don't want Baker Mayfield,
I was going to
let Jamel Dean walk.
I was going to put
let
it that
Levante
way.
David walk. We'll just do. Why do you want to do that?
I think the Giants are a great example, actually. Seriously.
Yeah.
Who has a better roster, the Bucs or the Giants?
Bucs.
For my money, it's the Bucs.
Yeah.
Right? The Giants just had fantastic coaching.
Yeah.
Is Daniel Jones that much better than Baker Mayfield?
God, no.
$40 million more better than Baker Mayfield?
God, no.
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 And that is why you don't tank.
Right. Exactly. It's just it's you never know what's going to happen in this league. You never know how your health is going to go. You never know how the health of the other teams in your division and your conference is going to go. You don't know. The Buccaneers could draft, this Pacheco in the 7th round and have this unbelievable running back that goes for 1,200 yards. They could get a tight end in the 5th round that turns into Travis Kelce. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
And what about the
But
teams?
you know what you do know? If you try to tank, you're going to suck for a year or two. On purpose?
Or
who wants to do that?
Or in the sake of some teams like the Detroit Lions, you're going to suck for 3 decades.
Right.
Until you finally get it right, like they finally have now.
Yeah, you keep trying and trying
the
and trying.
The Jets are doing that in a cycle. Yeah. Lonnie just chimed in here as a Bears fan, like they're on their 9th rebuild attempt.
Right.
Like it's a cycle. You can't get out of it.
Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll get to more of your comments here. We'll finish up on the Bucs. Then we'll get to WBC, Valspar. We really didn't talk about Valspar yesterday, and they got their dates for next year. So I want to talk about that as well. Other NFL happenings. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in the world of sports that I want to get to. So quick break. What's that?
I said in the Lightning back tonight as well.
Yeah, Lightning back tonight. Big game for them on the road. They got to munch some points tonight at Montreal. So lots more coming your way. Stay with us. Are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by, never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Hey guys, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. We know that. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. It's always a fun experience. Just head on over there. You will not find a better selection anywhere in the world. It's a jewelry super center. They've got engagement rings, necklaces, earrings, pendants, chains, and thousands of diamonds to choose from. They're all right there. They don't have to ship anything in. They have jewelry for every price range as well. Guys, if you're looking for some of those baller watches, they have a great selection. They have new and used. You can get some great collectibles there as well. And if you're looking for some more affordable gold and diamond jewelry, you have to check out the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Emily created this collection for people who want to wear and stack elaborate jewelry but don't want to pay the big ticket prices. You got to check this stuff out. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, interest-free financing for up to 5 years, and a layaway program, 20% down and only 6 monthly payments. And this month only, get up to 15% off the March birthstone, which is aquamarine. Like we always say, keep it local, folks. The Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, such great philanthropic benefactors. So let's keep it all local here when we have the opportunity, right? It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation: home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you've been injured in an accident or your car has been totaled and you didn't get what you think you deserved, well, give them a call. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Contact them through the website, get the number there, or email them, get a free consultation, find out if you have a case. can make some money there. Even though it happened years ago, you could probably still get some money out of that deal. So give them a call, find out what the parameters are, and it's a free call. JeevesLawGroup.com. And also Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Luga is going to join us in our last segment. We're going to talk about a couple of things. Going overseas to get medical procedures, where to go, what to do, what are the advantages, disadvantages, etc. We're going to talk about your trip outside the country and the difference in food in America and other places, and how you can find maybe some better food here because it makes a huge difference to your health. So Chris Lugo will join us at 11:45. I wanted to get to some of the comments, and you can read some of these too and pop them up there, Nick, since I don't have my glasses, I can't read them as well.
Your old man readers.
My old man readers. The guy's talking about the new $49 a month pass. Lonnie says, shout out to the Rays, new $49 a month ballpark pass ticket plan for standing room, third inning seats. What was that, third inning seats? Third level seats? So that includes third level? They're going to open a third level
No,
for
I
$10?
think he actually means like the third inning seats.
What's third inning seats?
I guess it's like by the time you get out of your seat, you're just roaming around maybe. I don't know.
It would be nice to have a seat, third level, and not just standing room. Why not?
Well, I'll put it this way though,
why
like
not
you
open
don't
it
go
up?
like when you go to games, you don't ever sit in a seat.
No, I hate sitting in seats.
And I think a lot of people are like that.
If I got a good seat, I'll sit in it for a little while. But most of the time, I like to walk around.
Let's be honest though.
Go
Come
out
on.
to center field.
Let's be real here. Everybody will find a seat.
Yeah, that's it.
They don't stop you there.
Even if you don't, I mean,
Remember when they did the 7-Eleven promotion and it was in the third level?
Yeah.
Oh, eventually by the fourth inning, I'd scout everything that was available and you make your way somewhere.
that's fine.
Come on.
Yeah, but the fact is that they're trying to, last year was all about gouging people and gouging their own fans, especially in the big series. And what happened was, the Yankee fans on a one-off or a three-off will come to 5 or 6 games a year and pay $70 for an outfield seat. They don't care. But Rays fans are not going to do that. They're going to be like, this week it's $75 for outfield seats. I'll wait till next week and see the Twins for a third of that. So what you ended up doing, and we talked about this last year, was pricing your own fans out of your own stadium. So you would have a majority of Yankee fans and Red Sox fans, where it used to be like 50-50. So that was, I think they saw the folly in that idea that it's not good for fans and it's not good for the players either. The players must hate that. And we brought it to light and said, that's bull crap. Let's give the local fans at least a chance to get in the stadium. And this does. $49 a month, or like you said, pay $250 for the whole year.
I would probably do that, yeah.
Unlimited games.
And no blackout dates. No blackout dates.
No blackout. And the other part about that, it's kind of like the Disney Pass thing, is you don't feel bad about going for 3 innings or going for a couple hours to Disney and just doing 2 or 3 rides if you have an all-year pass. Because it's not like, I spent $200 for today. I got to see the whole game. I got to get there early. I got to get there. No, you pop in, you pop out. Of like, maybe if there's a day game and I got that pass and we're sitting here, I'm like, let's jump over and have a beer today. Let's use and you'll use it more because you're paying for it. I'm telling you, folks, attendance is good if they sell enough of these. Now, if they only limit it to like 1,000 per game, that's going to suck.
Well, I will say, remember, also keep in mind, they've been doing the $10 ticket special, and that's for all year. And I looked yesterday, and it seems like, and at least for like the first few series of the season, I haven't gone any further than that, but all those tickets are essentially gone.
Good. Okay.
So it looks like at least the $10 tickets, and I don't know the exact number of $10 tickets that they had available, but it seems like fans have been buying those up like crazy.
Yeah.
And then you factor in the typical whatever it is, 5,000 to 7,000 elsewhere. I mean, if we can get, I think, a reasonable number I'd love to see on an average, can you get me in the 15 to 20 range on average?
$15 to $20 per ticket?
No. People in the
15
in the
to 20,000 per.
Can I get 15 to 20,000 on average a night?
You get 15,000 in there. It sounds good. It feels good. And that's just 15. You get 20 in, it's an atmosphere. It's starting to rock. You get 25 in there, it's great. It really feels like an event.
Oh yeah, when you get that place packed, I will say the the acoustics of it makes it feel really cool.
Oh, the playoff games are fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it really juices it up. There's no question about it. And I'm wondering, like, of course I have to, What's the ulterior motive here?
Oh my God! Here we go.
What's the
Here
ulterior
we go.
motive? Like, they can't be doing this out of the goodness of their heart, wanting
Well,
fans to go. There's something awry here, and I've got to figure it out. And I've settled on this: that if they really want to build a stadium in St. Petersburg, if they really want to do this, they're going to have to show that this is not a completely failed location. And part of the reason people don't go to the games is because they don't market it and they don't offer these ticket specials like everybody else in baseball has been doing for years and years and years. And we've talked about this for a long, long time. And it's a reality. When you're pricing the tickets like that, you don't want fans in there for a reason. You don't want to staff it. You don't care about it. You're still making money because you're getting tons of revenue sharing dollars. The less revenue you make here, the more you make on the back end in revenue sharing. That's the way it works. And you've been trying to get a new stadium. You've been trying to do the sister city thing and prove that this isn't a major league market. So you don't want attendance to be high. Now it's different. Now they know that they're going to stay here in Tampa Bay because Major League Baseball has essentially told them, you're not moving. We're not going to approve any move out of this market. You got to make it work here. So now, okay, we got to make it work here. So let's get more people in the ballpark. Let's get some momentum going. And and they probably feel if they could put 15 to 20,000 in there every night, then they can say to the voters of St. Petersburg or to the constituents, hey, look, maybe this isn't a failed location. We finally started marketing the product and people are actually coming now. So maybe this isn't a failed location. So maybe it's okay to give me $1 billion to buy this new stadium. We've come across it. This is all about getting St. Petersburg to give them $1 billion to build this new stadium, which builds the value of the team, because whoever buys this team will still be stupid enough to think people are going to come to St. Petersburg all the time to go to the games. They're not. It's the location. That's all there is to it. So it's a scheme. Yeah. As usual, it's probably a scheme. Then this is the way they feel that they'll get more people in the park. That will bring more momentum to say, let's build it here in St. Petersburg. See, people are coming now because we've committed to St. Petersburg. That's a sham. That's smoke and mirrors. In the long term, nobody's going to be going to the park in St. Petersburg. For the new stadium and new area thing will wear off because it's still a terrible location, and it will be much better in Tampa. So that's probably why they're doing it. I still don't think Major League Baseball is going to let them build in St. Petersburg. That's what they've said. That's evident to everybody. So I still. Until they put shovels in the ground in St. Petersburg, which would be the dumbest thing they could ever do, I'm not going to believe it.
Well, I will just say, too, by the way, and you mentioned about why don't they offer seats. I believe seats, you can do the whole package, I believe, with a seat for like an upgrade. So I think that's still an option. It's still a cheaper alternative, so that's one. And number two, to your point there about what's the ulterior motive, I did see Steve Carney said yesterday that the Rays actually wanted to roll this out in 2020. It was already planned to roll out for the 2020 season, and obviously COVID shut that down.
Yeah, I remember they had the ballpark pass.
Yeah, they were going to unveil that for 2020. COVID shut that down, and now this is the first like normal season since, honestly, start date and everything. So it's I guess you could have done it last year as well.
Of course you could have, yes.
Probably, but listen, I'm on the optimistic side. Don't kill my Rays fever. Come on now.
I'm not trying to
kill my Rays fever.
We're just trying to keep it real. Listen, I'm not bitching about it. I'm just saying, what's the ulterior motive? I want to understand what's really going on here because I can't wrap my arms around. We were going back and forth on Twitter, and guys were like, "Yeah, I think Stu has been tied up with duct tape and shoved in the closet."
I saw your Twitter yesterday.
Doing mushrooms.
I saw your Twitter, and I logged off Twitter.
I'm like, well, everybody's like, "Oh, we're going to pay Randy now." I'm like, "No, you're not. Stu's not going to pay Randy."
They could pay Randy. They've been paying everybody lately.
Like I said, it's Scott Boras is his agent. Yesterday's price is not today's price. He's going to say, "Yeah, well, sure. Let's sign him up for 10 years, $350 million."
Do the Rays have any other players on their roster that we know of that's?
And by the way, any deal that Scott Boras would want, I don't want. Randy's not worth it. He's not worth it. He's not. He's not. He's not. Because he's going to ask for 10 years, $350 million. You want to pay that to Randy?
I'm trying to. Are there any other players on the Rays who are represented by Mr. Boras?
Probably not.
Is what I would like to know.
Probably not. I think Rosarena only takes guys that have big upside. So I don't think Glasnow is.
There's a big list right here of his active clients. I don't see any TBs next to the names except for
Rosarena is, right?
Yeah, Rosarena, and this is just the notables, but he is Another name, a former Ray, is represented by him. That'd be Blake Snell.
Yeah, of course. That's why he was traded. One of the reasons he was traded.
Perhaps. Outside of that, though, it's just Randy.
Yeah, they're not going to deal with him. And check and see how many years Randy has left on his contract. Control we have of left on him. This from Richie P. To your point, JP explains why they're just doing this now. Of course, they could have done it last year, but they didn't want people in the stadium last year. They were still working the old method. Should be a staple every season. Yeah, everybody's doing it around baseball. Everybody's been doing it around baseball for 4 or 5 years.
So Randy, obviously they hit arbitration this year. He's $4.15 million this year. So he's a complete bargain, and it looks like he doesn't become a UFA until 2027.
2027. Oh, great.
So they have all those years of arbitration still to go.
Yeah. So he'll be making, and if they wanted to buy those out.
And that's why I said Randy Arozarena, honestly, we've had this conversation before because of the arbitration and how late he was classified as a rookie, he almost gets screwed because unless the Rays decide to give him a long-term extension and just buy out the arbitration years, he's going to be making this different salary every single year. And, of course, it's going to go up a little bit, but it's not going to go up to the measures that he's probably worth.
It depends on how he plays.
Depends on how he plays. And
he plays like this.
And we talked about it. We'll keep it real here.
$10 million next year. And then they have that bonus pool now for players that if you perform, you get that
Let's
extra
keep
money.
it real. Like, we're talking up Randy Arozarena like crazy, and because he is such a big game player. But the question with Randy Arozarena is from game 1 to game 162, the consistency I don't think has been there.
Oh, no,
I think
it's a complete roller coaster
I think
ride.
if he wants to, he can be a 30-30 player. I mean, he's already a 20-20 guy, 20-30, 40, whatever guy. Yeah. He can be a 30-30 player if he wants to, if he can be more consistent.
Well, that's the thing that he talked about.
And he talked about that.
He's going to actually look at a scouting report.
Yeah, he's just doing this like he's just playing.
Imagine looking at a scouting report, seriously, and being taught that, hey, they're going to throw you on the outside half every single time. Which, by the way, last night, fastball outside corner, he takes for a strike, comes back with another fastball outside corner. He reaches out and hits it on the barrel of the bat over the right fielder's head.
Yeah.
So it actually felt like, they're going to pitch me away. I'm going to dive out there and get it. I'm like, was that a reaction to the scouting report, to knowing where they're pitching him? Wow, look at that clutch hit.
I think somehow, some way, we need to always make it feel like Randy's in the World Series every single game.
Yeah, it's hard to do a Tropicana
I think
field,
somehow we need to make that happen, and then you'll get like one of the best players in baseball history.
Wow. Well, I think
it's that easy. I just unlocked the code right there.
Well, again, I know there's a lot of fans that we could bus in here.
We could put the little what's the little pennants that they have all the time for like opening day and all the special things. We could just keep those up year round.
We'll send 2 buses to the El Paso entry point with a Rosarena on the side of it and a big face of Randy, and then as they come across the border, we put them in the buses and they bring them to St. Petersburg and they all get in the outfield. We get them. The government can pay for the $250 tickets, and they can all the Mexican fans can be out there. Be fantastic. We're solving multiple problems here, multiple problems. So I think it's a great idea, fantastic idea. I love tweaking him.
I just don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what to say to that.
I just want to know, Richie B. I want to know which Randy we're talking about. Is this Randy or chicken and push-ups or not? What? What are we talking about? I don't get that one. Wonder what the payroll could be with those changes. What changes to?
I think it was about the. I think you were just talking. You just brought it up. I've already slipped my mind here. I think it slipped your mind too, when you were talking about the new thing with the payroll.
Well, they can get to $100 million, the payroll floor that the Major League Baseball players are talking about. That would be great. They in the next bargaining session, whenever that is, which I think it's probably all well off, they need to institute that. For which I'm really, I don't know why the owners must have definitely said that's not happening. That's like not even on the table.
Oh my goodness! I have to bring this comment here real quick from Lonnie.
Yeah.
Talking about my hat here. Remember when I came on and I told you about the very expensive hat that I bought?
Right.
This is the hat.
That's the $50 hat?
This is the hat, yeah. This is the hat. This is the hat. With the old Devil Ray logo, with this nice gray, new era. Look at that. Lonnie noticed it right here.
It looks like the Walmart hat that I got for
The
$10.
Walmart hat?
Yeah.
This is official.
That's official?
This is
The
an official
Walmart's official hat. Had the
MLB
MLB sticker on it.
Okay, well,
It's on the sale rack.
mine's official.
You
Okay.
paid $50 for it.
I
though.
paid
15 or 10.
I paid $50 for it.
No shipping. But I did have to go to Walmart to get it.
Exactly. You had to go to Walmart. I didn't. I had to
I was
stay in
there
my
anyway.
home.
I was there anyway.
Hey,
getting dog food.
you know what I bought actually while I was laying in my hammock in Antigua, by the way. Which is a great time, by the way,
Nice.
to do some shopping online.
Nice flex.
Yeah, it is. There was some nice deals going around. Like you know like when you're on Instagram and sometimes those like deals pop up like on these like websites, like for
Yeah.
clothes and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So like I spend a lot of time on Fanatics, so it always pops up on my stuff in the Rays section there, and I just keep scrolling through. I've been seeing it for like the past month. I don't know if you've seen it. They have a Fred McGriff Nike T-shirt now, and it's got the Hall of Fame emblem on the left here, and it's black with Devil Rays across and McGriff and everything. It looks freaking beautiful, and it's been coming across my screen for like a month. They had discounted it to like 30% off, and I said, this is the time. So laying in my hammock, I have purchased my Fred McGriff Hall of Fame T-shirt, Rays shirt, and I'm going to wear it this week.
How much?
It was like $30.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it was 30% off. It was like regularly like 45, and it came down to 30.
I can't wait to text Fred. I want to send me that. I'm going to text. And for the Rays to be making now, they're going to claim Fred McGriff. They haven't talked to Fred McGriff in 15 years. And now that he's going into the Hall of Fame, they're going to make shirts.
They have 3 different Rays T-shirts. It's Nike ones that say Rays on the. There's the blue one, and there's a gray one, and there's the black one that says Devil Rays.
That dude has no shame. The Rays have no shame.
I don't know if the Rays control all that stuff.
Are they selling it in their store, the Rays store?
I don't think so, because when you go to the Rays website, the online website, the Bay Republic, which is their store, It's not there. It's only on Fanatics.
It's only on Fanatics.
It's only on Fanatics.
Yeah, I don't know how that merchandising works. I don't know who comes.
I don't
up
know how
with
it
the ideas.
works.
I don't know how the money is distributed, but just in general, for the Rays now to claim Fred McGriff, they haven't talked to him in 15 years, and he finally gets in the Hall of Fame, and now they're printing T-shirts with Rays McGriff.
I'm doing my part, by the way.
Okay,
I have my Fred McGriff T-shirt. I have my Wade
This is
Boggs
not my
jersey.
fault.
I'm wearing my. I'm
This
doing
is
my
not
part.
my fault, by the way. This is not my fault that I have to be this cynical about the Rays. This is not my fault. You made me this way, Stu Sternberg. You made me
my
this way.
God.
I don't act this way about the Lightning or
All
the
I did
Buccaneers.
was, I'm
I
sorry.
don't.
I'm so
I
sorry.
don't.
All I did was talk about my recent Rays purchases.
Well, I'm just-
Here you go.
But think about it. They haven't talked to him in 15 years, and now they're selling Fred McGriff shirts with Hall of Fame.
It's very nice too, by the way.
Well, he's well deserved. Well, I'll say this: it's deserving for him. But I think old Fred would go, you believe that?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna wear it tomorrow. My
Yeah.
Devil Rays Fred McGriff T-shirt that I bought at Fanatics. I'm gonna wear it. Even though I hate Fanatics, I will wear it.
Well, listen, I should do like you and just kind of like bury the hatchet and just stop. At least they're trying. They're doing the things we've asked them to do. Clearly, so I should accept that as great and stop chirping.
We're gonna get there.
I should stop chirping.
We're gonna get there.
Or maybe I'll ask you, fans. Should I stop chirping
Hey,
at
I'll put
Stu
it-
because
can
at
I put
least
it
they're
this way?
trying to do the right things?
Can I be a
Should
little
I give them the
optimistic?
benefit of the doubt and be more positive?
Can I put a scenario out into the ether real quick?
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can cut me off at any moment because you've seen the whole thing.
All right.
We talked yesterday, and we talk a lot about how the Lightning are this great organization, and
That's right.
they have their finger on the pulse of the fans and all that kind
Proven
of
it
stuff.
time and time
And they
again.
prove it time and time again. Are we going to sit here and act like for the first 20 years of their existence that it was that way? That ownership really felt like they had bought in for most of those times, that it wasn't rocky, that the fans were invested
They
and
weren't-
things like that?
They weren't as hostile to the fans. They were always trying to court the
No,
fans.
I'm not going to say that.
Stu's been openly hostile.
I'm not saying the
I mean,
situation.
I don't remember any of our even Art Williams never came out and said, this ain't a hockey market. This is a crappy town. We can't support a hockey team, and I'm going to get the hell out of here. I don't remember Art Williams
I'm not saying
that.
the situations are.
I don't remember the Davidson group blaming the fans for not being able to spend money on his payroll. I don't remember the Davidson group trying to leverage their way out of town to get more money for a stadium. I don't remember them. No, they've at least the Lightning owners. They weren't the greatest owners at times because they didn't. Davidson Group was. We won a Stanley Cup with them. They gave us stability. The Cowboys were the Cowboys. Coolis and Barry, but whatever. They weren't hostile to the fans.
I'm just
Stu
saying,
has been openly hostile.
I'm just saying that as of 12 years ago, right, 12, 13 years ago, the Lightning were a dysfunctional mess, and who knows if they who
Again,
knows?
A big difference.
I
though.
know that there's differences. I'm
Between-
acknowledging that. I'm just saying.
Between not being a good franchise in terms of winning.
I'm just saying it's possible to have a turnaround. And I think the Rays, to their credit, are making moves to try to get back on the good side with the fans because I think they have finally realized that, hey, we have not done our part here.
Well, if Stu would come out and do – it was about 3 or 4 years ago when I was working at the other station. They sent me to the winter meetings over with Orlando. And I said and this was right after they had – I think the Rays had – after the big press conference in Ybor City, they said, no, we're not doing it because we don't want to pay half. And that was when we realized, okay, he's not negotiating in good faith. He's just yanking everybody around. And I said, if he would just come out with a mea culpa and just say, I'm sorry for blaming you fans for payroll. I'm sorry for lying about not making money on the team. I'm sorry for all the stuff that we've done here. I'm turning things around, and I'm turning it over to you, the fans, and I'm turning over a new leaf. And, the Sister City thing was a bad idea. This is a major league market, and we really, really want to partner with you, the fans, and you, the people in Tampa Bay. And we're going to pay for half the stadium in Ybor City and thank the people of St. Petersburg for being such great hosts for the first 25 years or 30 years, whatever it is. But that is now, we've proven that that's not the greatest location, although it gave us some great years. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Still be fans. We'll come play some spring training games over there. We still love you, but we're going to commit now to the area and the region. And it's going to be a better place for everybody. We'll have a St. Petersburg. If you live in the St. Pinellas zip codes, we're going to give you a 15%, 20% discount on season tickets for the new place. These are all things that you can do to mend fences and come out and say things and do the right thing. And we're going to pay for half the stadium in Ybor. We're going to do a great public-private partnership with our development partners here. We're going to build this beautiful Ybor Marina and a stadium, and we want everybody to be part of this. I know the error of my ways. Let's all be a big family. I'll be the first one to hug him. Let's go. We bury all the old crap. I'm never going to talk about it again. And let's go. I would. But can you see Stu ever doing that? Exactly. His ego would not let him do it.
I don't know how many owners would do that.
Well, listen, if you're self-aware and
I don't know. Listen,
you want to repair, it's no different than effing up a relationship.
Listen,
you can sit there and say, well, I didn't do anything, and we should still be married. Guess what? That ain't going to work.
Yeah, and for my scenario that I put out there, for them to have a kind of a lightning turnaround and to make this organization feel world class and have a connection to the fans. I mean, Richie said here, to your point, maybe Stu needs to sell. Maybe that has to be the scenario to get to that point. Maybe it has to. But all I'm saying is we've been at this for a long time about this team with these off-the-field issues, which I think is a shame that we have to always go down. And I understand we have to talk about it because they're real issues, but I love the fact that this is a really good baseball team, and I love to be able to talk about them and enjoy it and all the things we've talked about with Randy being a star.
Right.
But these are real issues, but I think they're doing a good job at the moment of trying to rectify those. So I'm calling that out right now.
I will give them credit for the moves that they've made. Absolutely. Things are trending in the right direction. But as Kevin Mullinax says, salty JP is necessary when speaking of Turdberg until the stadium is Tampa.
Turdberg, that's a new one.
Just saying. Thank you, Kevin, for riding the ship where it needs to be. And listen, again, I don't have anything personal against Stu. I don't. It's all about the way he's treated us and treated the fans and the way he's run his team and the things that he's done, all those things that I said. Those things don't go away. You did them. You did them. You're the one that wanted to put up a freaking Montreal sign during the playoffs. I mean, talk about tone deaf.
That's probably the worst thing that he's done. For me,
I don't know.
As a fan, that made me feel like
It was the most public manifestation of.
There you go. That's the most public thing that I think
attitude.
that got under my skin.
Yeah, and that's just.
But he came out eventually. He came out right away and acknowledged. I mean, I still don't understand why you could think that was a good idea, but at least he did apologize.
When Major League when the commissioner's office called him and said, "What the f are you doing? Go out and apologize right now." And then he did it. There's no way he came to that realization on his own, because if he did, why would he have put it up in the first place? He was forced to do that, in my opinion. There's no way he woke up the next day and looked at some of the reaction and went, he wanted the negative reaction. That's why he put it up. And only when he was called on the carpet by his bosses and fellow owners would he do any type of mea culpa whatsoever. At least that's my opinion. If that came from his heart, if he woke up, like the Grinch one morning and his heart was 10 sizes bigger, then yes, maybe that happened. Sure, it happened, but my guess is no.
So,
no.
How many days we got to opening day? Are you going? Will you be there on that Thursday afternoon at 3:30?
Is it a week? A week and a half?
Are we a week and a half away?
Like 9 days, 8 days?
We'll forget all about this conversation in 10 days.
Listen, I'm ready for baseball. The World
9
Baseball,
days. We're
the
9 days
WBC
away.
has me all jacked up for baseball. It's amazing how, in this grand world of, great strategic analyzers and planners. I mean, baseball's been trying to think about a way to get this game, give this game some juice and some life again. Baseball, we're going to change the rules. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. When did somebody really think the World Baseball Classic was going to finally wake up the world to what a great game this could be and how fun it is? Like, there's no. This is Major League Baseball has, as Big Papi said last night, has hit the lottery with the World Baseball Classic.
But here's the thing:
and I don't think they even saw this coming.
But are they even going to capitalize on it?
God, they would have to.
I mean, Major League Baseball. I think there's been a lot of great examples that have come around of guys who look like you had to strike while the iron was hot, and they just kind of let them fade away. I mean, I thought maybe I'm being a little biased here, but I think Randy, with what Randy Arozarena did in 2020, I think he should have been part of more promoting, marketing, going after that season.
Absolutely.
And I think they probably just killed it, right?
Yeah.
They looked at it and said, just Tampa Bay. Nobody's going to remember.
First of all, the Rays don't ever want to promote players because players leave. They don't keep their players. So any type of investment in building up a brand of a Arozarena or Wander Franco. Now, Wander, I think they'll probably be able to keep around.
Last year they went all in on him.
Randy's going to be around here for a while.
He's going to be around here,
They're 27. Why wouldn't you put money into
maybe they will.
it?
Maybe they will. We'll see.
I mean, if I were the Rays marketing department, I would have worked through the night with Major League Baseball, getting as many clips as I could of him in his sombrero and his hat. I mean, his sombrero is a hat, his boots, everything else, and all the plays he made, because you have rights to that video, because Major League Baseball owns WBC. And I would be having, a Arozarena day, like the second day that typically the attendance goes down. That's Randy Arozarena Mexico Day.
And regardless too of how you think about
the
it,
house and have all the Mexican fans come in with their flags and everything, and Paredes. We got Paredes too.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think there's a huge Mexican population here in the Tampa Bay area that wouldn't turn out for that game? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
With the Randy Arozarena Day, let's go.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you could do. And regardless how you feel about his play, by the way, the face of the Rays for the past decade has been Kevin Kiermaier. And now there's a big hole there. Let's be honest there. There's a big hole there.
And clearly Arozarena has a personality.
Oh, yeah.
That can do that.
Lonnie said it right here. He said, what about a billboard with Randy and his arms crossed and everything? It writes itself.
It writes itself. That's what I'm saying. The bobblehead? We already have the bobblehead done?
Yeah, I would lean into it heavily.
Absolutely. Well, this is also the organization after the first player to ever, homegrown player to have a big moment, Doug Wechter, who went like 8 innings in his debut or something, and I was working at News Channel 8 at the time, and I'd be like, man, I'd have Doug Wechter over at every radio station and everything in this market. We tried to get him, and it was like, we're not sure if he can come on today. He's got his next day workout. I mean, this was back when this is like 98, 99, or 2000 where they're struggling to get anybody in the joint. They get a homegrown kid who just went out and pitched, with his debut. It was one of the best stories ever. And they didn't capitalize on that. They've never really been smart marketers.
Yeah, but I think last year, though, they did better with the Wander. Like, remember the Wander billboard there next to
I didn't even know Aranda's on the Mexican
team
team.
Aranda was there as well.
Wow.
There's a lot of good things. But it's crazy, though. Like, when you talk about, like, this being a big hit for baseball, I was watching it last night. Isn't it kind of crazy? It's like we've been looking for who's the face of baseball.
Right.
And we have found it in this generation in Shohei Ohtani. And it's a guy who doesn't speak any English, right? So you can't even really hear from him. I mean, you can hear from through translators.
Yeah.
And there's always been that discussion of can you be the face of something and not speak the language of the country you're in.
It's really hard.
But Shohei Ohtani is.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter actually.
Yeah,
it's like he has that big bubbly personality, and it's like it's the baby cheeks or something. Like he looks way younger than what he is.
Yeah.
He's very tall. He's I guess he's a good looking dude and everything. And then he does things that only I'll put it out there. I'm sure Babe Ruth was not as good as this dude.
No.
No shot.
No.
But he does things that only Babe Ruth had ever done though.
In the game. Yeah.
In the game.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Babe Ruth was super dominant.
Yeah, well, I don't care against freaking day trade or whoever they did back in the day. I don't know, prohibitionist.
Guys making whiskey in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Who gives a crap?
It's all relative, though. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back, and we'll get into some Tampa Bay Lightning. Chris Lugo from Bay Area Modern Medical Center is going to join us in our final segment. We're going to talk about going overseas to get medical procedures, the dangers, the pluses, the minuses. He's very versed on that. Nutrition as well, how to get your food situated here in the United States, because it's gotten so bad. You got to know where to find the best food. It makes a huge difference in your health. I'm very interested in talking about this as well, because I got to change some things. Everybody does. So we'll do all that. Lots more coming your way. Stay with us. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation. Home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by, never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to jeeveslawgroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to jeeveslawgroup.com. Hey guys, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. We know that. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. It's always a fun experience. Just head on over there. You will not find a better selection anywhere in the world. It's a jewelry supercenter. They've got engagement rings, necklaces, earrings, pendants, chains, and thousands of diamonds to choose from. They're all right there. You don't have to ship anything in. They have jewelry for every price range as well. Guys, if you're looking for some of those baller watches, they have a great selection. They have new and used. You can get some great collectibles there as well. And if you're looking for some more affordable gold and diamond jewelry, you have to check out the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Emily created this collection for people who want to wear and stack elaborate jewelry but don't want to pay the big ticket prices. You got to check this stuff out. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, interest-free financing for up to 5 years, and a layaway program, 20% down and only 6 monthly payments. And this month only, get up to 15% off the March birthstone, which is aquamarine. Like we always say, keep it local, folks. The Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, such great philanthropic benefactors. So let's keep it all local here when we have the opportunity, right? It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Great time to do that insurance checkup because everything is more expensive, right? If you could save a few $100s a year, you know, that can help you with inflation, kind of cancel out inflation. If you could save $1,000 on your homeowner's insurance, you never know. And the other part about it is they will not put you with bad companies. We're hearing a lot about some of these bad insurers, homeowners insurers around the state of Florida are paying out about 10% of what the adjusters are recommending be paid. Yes, I said it, 10%. I was talking to a person in the industry the other day, and that's what they were telling me. A lot of these Hurricane Ian claims are being sent to court. And here's the thing. If you're a homeowner and you need that money to rebuild your home or get a roof, and they say, well, we're going to give you $30,000, take it or leave it, and sign off on any future legal ramifications, you know, you're kind of stuck, right? You got it. They'll just keep you in court for years and years until, you know, and you got a blue tarp on your house. So you got to get with companies that aren't going to do that. Italiano Insurance knows who the good companies are. They're not going to put you with a company like that. Even if their prices are lower, they're not going to do that. So go with an agency that's going to be looking out for you and is going to get you the customer service that's important and is going to make your experience hassle-free. And get you the best price. That's Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799, and tell them JP sent you. All right, let's get into a couple other things. The Lightning are at Montreal tonight, Les Habitants. I believe that's a 7 o'clock puck drop on the Bally's Sports Network. Look, this is the dog days, right? Where there's 10. The dog days are over because now you are zeroing in on Toronto. Second week, third week of April, playoffs are going to start most likely in Toronto, which the Lightning love to go on the road for the first two games, steal one or two, excuse me, set yourself up to win that game 6 at home. That's what they like to do. So fine, you don't have to catch Toronto, but you got to be playing better hockey. We've seen, you know, kind of these dips and lulls over the past couple of weeks. Cooper's admitted that he's still trying to find, you know, what the best defensive pairs are, plus gives guys some days off, like Perbix, for instance. Perbix has played more hockey this year than he's ever played in his life in one season because, you know, he's been a collegiate hockey player. This is a whole new level, and he's probably hit the wall and needs to get off his skates for a while. So while a lot of people are thinking that he's, you know, fallen out of favor, I don't think that's the case. I think Coop is just trying to get him some rest. And they're going to try to be, you know, their focus is peaking at the right time, not peaking in October and November like Boston did, but peaking at the right time. And I think, is it going to happen? I don't know. Is this team going to be mentally, emotionally, physically fresh enough to get through a long playoff stretch? It's a tough ask. It's a tough ask. They've played 19 games over a 33-day stretch late in the season. It's tough. I think that's why you saw what you saw against New Jersey. They jump out to a 2-0 lead. You got a young team on the other side that's hungry, trying to improve their playoff status. That's kind of the way that game was going to go. So you're worried about fatigue for this team. I am. I'm worried about fatigue for Vasilevsky. We'll see. Does this team have the intestinal fortitude to find that needed intensity and that needed emotional focus, mental focus that you have to win a cup? They've shown they have. They have that ability to turn it on. But at some point, the gas tank runs a little low.
Yeah.
And I'm sensing that's where they're at right now.
Yeah, and I've seen enough things not to have me overly concerned, but to give me a little pause.
Yeah.
When it's in regards to can they get – I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's so hard to go to a Stanley Cup final, let alone 2.
Brutal.
Let alone 3.
3 in a row?
I mean, we're talking 4 here. Like, the chances of this happening, seriously. I mean, seriously. The
Slim.
chances of that happening, you have to acknowledge are slim. And I've seen enough things this season. And listen, they're going to have over 100 points. They're a top whatever seed in the Eastern Conference. I've seen enough things this year to give me at least some pause as to it feels a little bit different. And I look at the Eastern Conference this year.
Beast.
It's loaded.
Loaded.
It's loaded. Now, one of those teams that I thought was going to be a major player on the Metro side was Carolina, but the injuries have killed them. I don't think they have the offense to keep up with their defense now, which Svechnikov out for the season and Pacioretty as well.
Yep.
So, but you still have Boston is still doing their thing.
We'll find out.
New York.
What is it, Saturday we got them?
We got them on Saturday in Boston. That's going to be a big one. We already know what New York can do. And if we get into a matchup with New York, I mean, with Shesterkin the other way, I mean, he's just like Vasilevsky. He'll steal you a series. That's all it takes.
He has not had as good a season this year.
No, but I think he's entered Vasilevsky territory. Vasilevsky never
He's not as consistent, though.
Vasilevsky, though, is never in the top whatever in save percentage or goals against in the regular season. He never is. He's actually somewhere in that mid-tier, but when he gets to the playoffs, he's a completely different guy.
Yeah.
And I think
Shesterkin
is in that territory now.
Yeah. I would agree, but I was talking to Engblom about this the other day. We were talking on the last call postgame show, and he said, Shesterkin has not been as good as he has been, and that's what happens in the league, right? It's a grind. Number one, you got to have to push through the grind. He's still learning how to do that. He still hasn't had the ultimate playoff success. He hasn't proven himself on that level as Vasi has. So they're still, and now they're starting to show some holes in his game. So this is why being such a consistent winner in this league is so hard with the salary cap situation and everything else. And that's why what the Lightning has done is so freaking unprecedented. It's crazy good. And to be back in the hunt for not only a 4th straight year, this is like a 10-year dynasty now. And this team continues to just play at this ridiculous level. Now, can they turn it on and flip the switch in the playoffs? Absolutely, they can.
Yeah, it won't surprise.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
It can't happen.
And I'm not saying that either. But I'm just sitting here telling you how hard it is.
Yeah.
And if they do it, and they can do it, I'm not saying they will, but if they push into the conference finals again, I'm just going to be sitting here going, you guys, your mental toughness, your physical toughness, your grit is off the effing charts because everybody's talented. Now you're dealing with down here, the onions. Like how hard can you go? How intense can you be? How can you meet that every other night to play to that level? It's insane. And if they do that again, it wouldn't shock me, but it's a tough ask.
Yeah, it's a very tough ask.
They've played an extra season of hockey in the last 3 years, more than everybody else. A season's worth. And that's not, playing Arizona on a Tuesday. That's high-level, high-intensity playoff hockey.
And it's not like these guys are necessarily, like, youthful either anymore.
Right, exactly.
I mean, even Stamkos has been going through some issues with the lower body. The injury history with Braden Point is documented. The same thing with Kucherov. The same thing with Hedman. The best players, the injury history is documented.
Yep.
And last year they played through a lot of things that, we still don't even know about, right? That hampered them. And it's amazing they even got there in the first place.
Yep.
But that's what you have to kind of, when you talk about the Lightning right now, you have to recognize that it is so slim that they're going to get back to a fourth final.
Yeah.
And that's not me being like waving the red flag or anything. It's just, or waving the white flag, whatever it is. It's just that it's slim. It is what it is.
Hedman said it's a lot of hockey, but it's the same for everyone. No, not really. Not when you combine the last 3 years, it's not even close. He says you want to be your best here in a few weeks, and it's all about preparation. It's all about being mentally ready for a long run, but we want to make sure that we feel confident going into the fun stuff and just keep plugging away. I mean, that kind of encapsulates all of it. Cooper said, you only have so long to play this game, and you can sit there and say, well, we played so much hockey over the last 3 years, and basically a full season worth more than other teams. That's true, but the rewards far outweigh any time you can have rest in the summer. Players' careers are short. You take advantage when you can. He said, this is excitement time. We don't officially have a playoff spot yet, so we have to get into the playoffs, but it's such a fun time when you're in there. These dog days, they're tough, but we're not the only team that has to do it. Everybody's doing it. So there you go. Let's see what happens. All right, a couple other notes we got to get to. Mike Bray interviewed at USF yesterday for their head basketball coaching job. My question is, why has he not been offered the job today? Why is he not announced as the USF head coach? What are we doing? If I think we've learned during the football search that if you have an opportunity to hire a big name and bring somebody in that's going to turn around your program immediately and make you relevant, no matter what the cost, you better do it. If you want to be a major player. If you want to be a major player. And maybe USF doesn't want to be a major player. They would just want to try to do it on the cheap. You can't do it. If you want to be a major player, you want to play with the big boys, you got to spend big money. So either get into it or don't. Mike Bray is a blue blood coach. For him to consider USF, frankly, is a godsend. And Michael Kelly needs to make this happen. He'll turn 64 this week. 64 ain't what it used to be.
How old's Rick Pitino? He just got a 6-year.
70.
He just got a 6-year deal at St. John's.
70.
Yeah.
70. Mike Bray was a perennial NCAA participant when he coached at Notre Dame, 23 years. Went to the Elite Eight twice in 2015 and 2016. I would pause a little bit because the last few years have not been good for him as NIL has come in. Does he know how to deal with NIL? Is he what are his recruiting connections?
And they started playing in the ACC.
Yeah, exactly. So they ramped up the competition dramatically. So
I'm not gonna say here he's a perfect, but for USF, for
Mike Bray to consider
yeah,
USF
for a program that's been in the dumps for a long time now. I mean, USF has never been good at basketball for as long as I can remember. It's never even been a factor.
Yeah, well, when Seth was here and Z, they had a couple of 19-20 win seasons back to back. Almost made the tournament a couple of times. Got into the NIT. They were Altron Jackson, BB Walden. They got some pretty good recruits. They were relevant in this town for a little bit. We were doing live shots at News Channel 8 out there all the time. They were relevant.
It was a long time ago, though.
That's 2000. We're doing early 2000s. So yeah, it's been a while. And this but there is, I don't know Mike Bray and I don't know his situation, and he's got the pedigree. There's no question he knows how to do it. But this is a different deal, and it's a different time with NIL. And it's if he's going to do the Charlie Strong, so to speak, where a big name coach is going to come in and kind of not have the fire and the zeal to lift this program up, then he's not the guy. And I don't know that. That's Michael Kelly's job to discern that. But if he's got some renewed energy and wants to do this here and has a plan and is really ready to go, well, you got to do it. You got to push that button. He'll have some gravitas.
See some buzz.
Yeah,
he'll some buzz going.
And this is as opposed to going and finding the hot shot up and comer. That's a way to go, but it's hard to find that guy.
It's risky.
And the real hot shot up and comers aren't looking at USF. They're looking at Power 5 conferences. So
Well, to get the real hot shots that matter, you have to be like. Usually the progression is like I just saw it right now. I can't even think his name, but the Farley Dickinson head coach.
yeah.
He just like 20 minutes ago, whatever, is now the head
Chris
coach.
Farley Dickinson.
Yeah.
It's Fairleigh Dickinson.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
It's Fairleigh Dickinson.
That's what I thought. I've been saying Fairleigh Dickinson in case he's been correcting me, and I knew I
it's
was
Fairleigh,
right.
yeah.
I knew I was right.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever his name is, like 20 minutes ago, now he's the Iona head coach, so he's replaced Rick Pitino.
yeah.
The guy that was at whatever it is now, the Todd Golden, now at Florida.
Yeah.
He was at
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
He was the hot up and comer.
You have to be the hot up and comer at one of those schools, and you have to get into the tournament first.
Yeah.
And then you get that job. That's where the real up and comers are. There's no
Right.
up and comers that to me are like starting at USF, and then you have. It's really unlikely.
Well, could you have taken the Fairleigh Dickinson coach? I mean, USF's a better job than Iona.
Is it?
I don't know. Iona's.
Is it?
I
Iona's got some prestige added to it because of Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
And it's probably an easier route, maybe.
It's kind of a northeastern niche school that
Is it an
everybody
easier
knows
route?
plays
Is it easy?
basketball.
Is it an easier route to get to the tournament, even though it's only one spot?
Yeah,
But
yeah, probably. Well, this league now is for crap. It's like all you do is beat Memphis to get in the tournament, which is not easy, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to hear Mike Bray talk about this job and see how he views it. I mean, he's going from the ACC to this conference. That's certainly a step down. I would think he could get a better job at other places if he wanted to go. Why is he considering USF? That's what if he's considering it low pressure, I could come here and win.
a lot of people are saying
win 15 games.
He's
to come
preparing.
here
He's
to
preparing
retire.
his retirement.
Yeah, I can make another couple $1 a year just to come here. There's low expectations. I'll pop in for 3 years, collect my money.
I mean, you go 500. I mean, you've already excelled.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if that's his attitude, of course, he's not going to verbalize that in the interview. You got to discern that, right? Mm-hmm. So, is there still fire there? Because if not,
I'm just all I want is just like I want a men's sport at USF. Can someone please break out of the pack?
Yeah.
A men's sport at USF. The women's sports are killing it, but the men's sports are not there.
I just thought of this the other day. I may have mentioned this on the show, but I think the world of Jose Fernandez. I really do. I think he's a great basketball coach. I think he's a great personality. And I've always been intrigued by the crossover.
If he became the men's head coach.
Yeah. He knows how to win.
Clearly.
He knows the formula. He creates the culture. There's no question. Those girls play hard. Mm-hmm. They're consistent. He recruits well.
And they got screwed in the tournament. Let's be honest.
God.
I understand what happened in the in the conference. I get it, but they were the number 1 seed, and then you just go and put them as the 9.
That's awful.
Really?
Now you could say, well, don't lose in the first round of your tournament. Which okay, I get it. You got to eat that. You got to eat that. If they make it to the second round and certainly the third round of championship game, they're probably a 4 seed, right? So that's a little bit on you.
I get it.
That's a little bit on you, but to get slapped with that,
I wasn't expecting the 9 seed or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's like getting hit with a felony charge for some bullcrap accounting thing you did 8 years ago. Sorry.
I don't know. I mean, Jose Fernandez is probably as safe as it comes from a USF head coaching perspective on campus.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
If you go to the men's, I mean, the pressure is just it changes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, yeah, but if Mike Bray's got some fire and he wants to do this and he really sees this as a gem and he can come here, I'm a little dubious. You quit in the middle of the season. You're having another bad year at New Notre Dame. And I don't know this guy from Adam. I don't know what was going on at Notre Dame that made him quit. But quit in the middle of the year.
I mean, he was fair with what he said. They lost steam, and it just
lost momentum.
They lost a lot of momentum the last couple of years, and everything has an expiration date.
Well, that's on you. Yeah, And so, again, I don't know him. I don't know what his situation is, but it does smell a little like, I didn't have the energy to get in Notre Dame. You certainly have you got the resources. You can stay there as long as you want. You can turn that thing around. So if you didn't have the energy to turn around Notre Dame, it's you're 63, 64 now. You want a little sunshine, pick up a couple mil, go where there's low expectations, and I don't know. I don't. I'm just kind of where we at here? Where are we at here? Because if that's what you're doing, I got no interest in that. If you're coming here and you really, I just needed a break. I was done.
And you
but
might
now
have.
I've got the fire
And you might have
again.
answered your own question about why isn't this done right now?
Yeah.
Because it seems like it was yesterday. The report. I mean, we reported it, or I didn't report it, but I was reading the report that came out that they said that it was like expected to happen and all that, and then immediately Michael Kelly puts it out there like, no, it's not done yet. Like we haven't even offered it to him, so maybe he gets
Somebody
that.
say it was 90% done. Somebody say that.
I saw a lot of people tagging you yesterday about that.
You USF people, it's been as you sit here with no basketball coach and a football coach that ain't Deion Sanders. You want to yell at me? Okay, good enough. All you have to do is pay the money.
Well, I love
Anyway.
Well, I like Alex Golish. I don't know about. I will say that.
I don't dislike him. I don't think he's made a great first impression on a lot of people. That's true. I talk to these people. I talk to these boosters, and he's not made a great first impression.
Well, I care about the
in
on.
a lot of different
I
ways.
care about the on-field
Wait,
product
exactly.
when we get there.
Who cares? I don't care if people like you. Go win. And go win. I support him. I want him to do well. And I just don't. I don't think he was the right hire. I think you should have hired Deion. I think you should have come up with the money, found the money, just like they did at Colorado, and because he wanted to come here, he didn't do it. So I get it. So Golish is your guy, and I fully support him, and I want him to do well. It's not. I think if you get the opportunity to make noise like that in college athletics, it's a business. It's a sizzle business now with NIL and recruiting. It's a huge part of it, and that's, there were two vastly different directions you could go. USF chose the way they want to go, and that's the way it'll. We'll see if it works out. We'll see. But I'm in full support of Alex Golish. Full support. I hope he does well, and I will be rooting for USF tremendously. Richie P says, Jose has a system that is unique to him, USF and his family. He travels everywhere with his wife, and to their credit, it works. Not sure at this point in his career he wants to put that on his head. No, he probably doesn't, but he's a competitor, and he would never back down from a challenge, and I think it would be just super interesting to see how the crossover would go, because I'm telling you now, women's basketball has reached SportsCenter last night was about 40%. 50% of the highlights on SportsCenter last night was women's basketball. You wouldn't have seen that 5 years ago.
No.
Not even close. There may be a couple games you get a few seconds from. No, it's become way more mainstream now. And, Jose's coaching in buildings that are full, at times. And it's high pressure. I don't care if it's men's or women's. The dude knows how to win. He knows how to win. He has a formula. I'm not saying he would win. I'm not saying that. I don't know that. But if I had to bet, I'd bet on him winning. I'd bet on him.
I'm sure he could do it.
I think he could.
But
it's just a conversational piece. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, because 23 years
it's just a conversation piece. I just have so much respect for Jose that I would think that if anybody could do it in this situation, he could do it.
Be fair.
Yeah.
But 23 years as the head coach, it's like you said, it's not happening.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Chris Lugo will join us, and we'll talk about nutrition for you people. Nutrition. And also going overseas to get certain procedures done. It can end in tragedy, or it could be a good idea. There's things that are being offered out there in stem cells that could be very beneficial. And Chris is very knowledgeable on that as well. So we'll talk about both of those things when we come back. Hey guys, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. We know that. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. It's always a fun experience. Just head on over there. You will not find a better selection anywhere in the world. It's a jewelry Super Center. They've got engagement rings, necklaces, earrings, pendants, chains, and thousands of diamonds to choose from. They're all right there. They don't have to ship anything in. They have jewelry for every price range as well. Guys, if you're looking for some of those baller watches, they have a great selection. They have new and used. You can get some great collectibles there as well. And if you're looking for some more affordable gold and diamond jewelry, you have to check out the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Emily created this collection for people who want to wear and stack elaborate jewelry but don't want to pay the big ticket prices. You got to check this stuff out. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, interest-free financing for up to 5 years, and a layaway program, 20% down and only 6 monthly payments. And this month only, get up to 15% off the March birthstone, which is aquamarine. Like we always say, keep it local, folks. The Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, such great philanthropic benefactors. So let's keep it all local here when we have the opportunity, right? It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation: home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, sponsored by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. And here is their medical director, Chris Lugo, who joins us now. We tried to get him on yesterday, but now we got you on, right?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Oh, wait, we can't hear you. Yes, we can. Just kidding.
That's
That's how we do it. It's been done to me before where they go. Yeah, and then you're like, what?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get right into it because I want to talk about this. You have talked about consulting on your patients going overseas down to South America to get stem cell treatments. We recently had a high-profile incident in Mexico where some American travelers were going down to get a tummy tuck. They get abducted by the cartel. 2 of them murdered. The other 2 were kidnapped. And I'm coming into your medical and your military background. Only you can really talk about this better than anybody else. What if you're thinking about doing one of these procedures, what would you advise?
Don't go to a war zone.
Don't go to a war zone.
It's plain and simple, but I'm serious.
Yeah.
Are you hearing reverb?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Hey, I got you. Hold up.
Stand by. There'll be a little echo. Another button here.
All right,
now
we should be good now.
Are we good now?
Yeah, we're
Yep.
good to go.
Okay. No, so I know people who go to Mexico all the time to get stuff done, and to say that only Americans are the best surgeons in the world is stupid, right? I mean, there's really highly qualified people throughout the world, but Mexico, as we know, has a big issue going on with cartels. Yeah. Even if you go into Cabo, even if you go to Puerto Vallarta, you're going to Tulum, you're still putting yourself at risk going to Mexico, as we know. So that to me is a no-brainer. But just research your surgeon who you're going to see and make sure that those things are mitigated. That risk is mitigated as much as possible. Know your social surroundings, as you would say in the military. Don't be on your phone walking around doing this. Know your surroundings, especially if you're going to places like Mexico. That's just common sense, but there are some people out there who don't have that.
Right. Now, where are the places that you would say are the best places to go? Are there resources to find? Because on the internet, you can find places and the reviews are all bogus, right? So if you're doing your research or you know of certain places that are going or countries that are better for certain stem cells we've talked about, what's your advice?
My advice is like anything else. Go meet your surgeon first and foremost. Your surgeon should be honored to take you to the operating room. Your surgeon should be humbled knowing that you're going to go to sleep and you're going to let them assault you. That's what surgery is. Surgery is a controlled assault. And if that surgeon doesn't make you feel warm and fuzzy, walk away. Okay. Because as you know, as we all know, there's a lot of surgeons out there who've got very big egos. They might have great hands, but if you're not going to make me feel warm and fuzzy and knowing that aftercare, you're going to take care of me, then I don't want you.
And are there certain countries that are better than others for certain procedures? I know Costa Rica is a place where a lot of people go for stem cells.
Yeah, not necessarily, but I would say, hey, look, if you're going to commit to that, take a trip down there, interview the people.
Scouting trip.
Do a scouting trip. Go in there, do your interview, do your pre-op interview. Don't make everything all via internet, all telephone. Go meet them. If it means that much to you, you're going to spend some money. You're going to get a tummy tuck. That's a big surgery. It's not like you're going down there just to have a mole removed. You're going to have a big surgery. Do that due diligence like you would here in the United States. You wouldn't just willy-nilly hop on a plane and go straight to the operating room. This is no different.
And what procedures would you say are better done in the United States and some that you would say, okay, I would be okay with going overseas?
That's hard to do. I think there's a lot of places that do the same procedure for a better, especially when it's a cash paying patient. You can get a better price other places because we highly inflate our prices here. You, me, Nick, we all pay for all these people who don't have insurance.
Right.
We pay them. We're paying a $5 for a pill of Tylenol. Okay, you're paying $100 for a bag of saline, which normally costs like $2. How do I know this? Because I got saline in my back room here. I know that for a fact. But when you're going to a regular hospital, you're going to pay $10,000 to lay on a cold hard steel table, plain and simple. You could probably get that same procedure done, paying the anesthesiologist, paying for the hospital, paying for the surgeon that you could in Mexico, Costa Rica. So I'm saying just do your due diligence. That's the beauty about the internet. Research, go meet them. Okay. But there's no place out there that says, hey, that they're the best people out there. There's a lot of great surgeons all over the world.
Okay. All right, let's talk about nutrition, because yesterday we were talking about Nick went to Antigua. He said he ate there for a week and he felt completely different, right?
Yeah, completely different. And I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner there that was served at the restaurant, on a rotating menu. And a lot of the things that they serve were even things that I eat here at home, like a cheeseburger or French fries or things like that. But for whatever reason, it felt like the healthiest burger I've ever had. It felt like the healthiest French fry I've ever had. And I felt great. And then the second I got back into the States, we ate something here at home, out and about. And 5 minutes in, I'm running to the bathroom. It hurt.
I hear it all the time. It's nothing new to me. It's scary, but it's so true. I hear that from patients all the time who tell me they have gluten allergies. Gluten allergies are really few and far between. Gluten sensitivities, huge. I think gluten sensitivities are really big and people just don't talk about them. Most of our gluten sensitivities, though, are our grains that we have here in the United States. And that's exactly what you're talking about, Nick. The rice we have here in the States, the wheat we have here in the States, the soy we have in the States. Our country feeds the world. So our farmers are allowed to do horrific things to our crops, pesticides, herbicides, because we've got to feed the world with them. We need these huge crops. I hunt in Georgia, and we drive by GMO cotton. Okay, cotton now is growing year round, and that's not how it used to be. Corn growing almost year round. Peanuts growing outside their normal range. Why? They're GMO'd. They're now genetically modified to be able to do this. Other countries are not allowed to do the same thing we are. So those foods that you're referring to, Nick, don't affect us the same way.
So what's your advice to people if they want to try to get better food here in America and not cost an arm and a leg to do so? Are there any places you can go and shop that are straight farm to table or anything like that? Are the weekend markets better than, say, Publix?
Possibly, yes. Just do your research. Try to buy organic as much as possible. Okay, that's expensive, but try to do your best. Try to find those smaller little markets that you can go to instead of the big chains. That's going to help. Try to find out what your gut really is like. Do some gut testing. We do gut testing here. There's a lot of people who do gut testing, but we can actually find out if you have any organic acid allergies. Do you have fungus in your gut? Do you have an overgrowth of bad bacteria inside your gut? We call that SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. We can find out what you're doing here to kind of eliminate that. So when you're in the States, try to eliminate those foods as much as possible. Frolic a little more when you go to Antigua.
Yeah. So, and that's a great thing. So people want to get in touch with you to come in here and do a full workup on their gut. And this is going to help them like in every part of their life, their inflammation, their immunity levels to certain things, right? The whole thing.
You just hit it. Immunity. 60 to 70% of our immunity is in our gut. And if we don't have a good, happy, healthy gut, your immune system is going to take a hit. So a lot of people say, man, I'm getting sick often. Man, I'm this. It's because your gut is really and truly the source of the issue. You've got to have a good, happy, healthy gut. We can help you out there here.
I think we should come up with a program. We'll call it the gut check.
Yeah.
The gut.
Definitely.
Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Let's get your gut check. Because that's where, yeah.
Gut-brain barrier is huge. You've got to have a good, happy, healthy gut. Depression has been linked to a poor gut. I mean, poor dentation has been linked to a poor gut. There's a lot of studies out there. This is a lot of evidence-based medicine too.
Yeah, that's why people have been cured of certain diseases just by changing their diet. We see that. We see that a lot.
You just don't assume you got a good, happy, healthy gut because you don't have diarrhea all the time. That's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, how do folks get in touch with you, make an appointment to get their gut check?
Yeah, 844-789-BAM-2266 or BAMMC.com.
All right, Chris, great stuff as always, my friend. We will see you soon, and stay safe out there if you go play Army.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Appreciate it. Great, Chris Lugo right there. Get your gut check. That's the new spot coming up next month. So get a gut check because it's true. Everything he said, things that you would think that are not even remotely connected to your gut are connected to your gut, and you won't get as sick. So it's good. You can feel good all the time with a good gut. All right. Great show today, my friend. Well done. We'll do more on Baker Mayfield tomorrow. We still got a little bit of sound left, so we'll bring that to you. We'll be checking out what the Lightning do tonight and the finals of the World Baseball Classic, Japan and USA tonight. I will be glued to the TV. I'll be double screening with the Lightning, so it'll be fun. And we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.